Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia. It's Week 2 of the NFL on EA Sports. Philadelphia Eagles taking on Jared Goff and the Los Angeles Rams.
It's the NFL on EA Sports as you take a look there at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, PA. The scene in South Philly a few moments ago. Boy, the city of brotherly love is fired up. They're saying fly, Eagles, fly as they get ready to match up with the Los Angeles Rams. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, you look at this Eagles team as they enter play here. They come in off a good win on the road, and now they hit the home opener at 1-0.
And if you look back to last week, it was all about their defense. Anytime you hold an NFL team to single digits, that's saying something.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Rams, they come into this one after a loss in the opener, and they're in for another tough test here.
And what a battle for an organization to look at your schedule and see 2 road games to start the season and not have a letdown immediately. You got to fight against that. They've got to come out ready to play.
So now here comes the Eagles offense as they get ready to take over. And they'll be led out by their quarterback in his 5th season now, the former number 2 overall pick, Carson Wentz.
And when I think of Carson Wentz in his first 4 years in the league, I kind of look at him as bookends because his first year as a rookie, he started all 16 games. The next 2 years, beset by injuries, but last year started all 16 in the regular season again and was very productive. His first 4,000-yard campaign throwing the ball, 27 touchdowns and only 7 interceptions. The injuries got him again in the wild card game, but when he's on the field, his team is dangerous.
The numbers for Sanders last week, 21 carries, 106 yards.
Well, they set a nice tone in week 1. He's among the leading rushers in the league. I think that they continue to feed him the football and continue to establish the running game so they can get to play action and throw the ball deep later on.
It's a 2nd down run with Sanders, and he'll get this only up to about the 35. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
3rd play here, this opening drive as they're up against a 3rd and 5. Shotgun now for Wentz. Oh, he almost picked it. Nearly a turnover there on their opening drive. And that's a throw he'd like to have back. Now 4th down.
How about some applause for the defense there? They forced him to throw that one into coverage, and just like that, they're staring at a 4th down. Well done.
Just a 2-yard return there following a punt of 48. And the Rams will go on offense here with a 1st and 10. The Rams taking the field and leading the way, the man from Cal, the former number 1 overall pick, Jared Goff.
Would you say that last week's performance by him, workmanlike in terms of numbers?
1 touchdown, 1 pick, but obviously a loss.
Yeah, that's the bottom line for him. All he cares about is how do we find a way to win the game. Maybe he leans on a few other parts of the offense and hopefully springs a receiver or 2 free.
And he's taken down. Back in his own 7. That's Derek Barnett coming in and making the play.
Didn't have the greatest field position to start, did they? And now, after this sack, it's way, way worse.
And right off the bat, first play of the game. And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. Another try after the 1st down sack. Goff. And that one goes incomplete. He's maybe lucky it wasn't a fumble as he got hit as he threw it.
Well, as we get ready for 3rd down, let's go back and recap here. The sack on the first play of this drive, that
threw a wrench in what they were trying to accomplish because they were compelled to throw the ball on second down. A running play was not in the works. And that incompletion set up another passing down here on 3rd and long.
That's going to bring up 4th down, only a gain of 2 there.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
Yeah, it was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
The Eagles in good position to start out as they come up 1st and 10, right at the 50-yard line. From midfield, here's Wentz. There goes a deep ball, end zone. Oh, so close to an interception. Read that beautifully. Got his hands on it, couldn't get it. And it's 2nd down.
There is something to a game plan with trying to keep a defense honest. With a guy with that type of speed, you do so. Send him deep. Try to throw some air under it and hope you connect downfield. On that play, they were unsuccessful.
And he's going to get this one down to the 45. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Brings up 3rd and 5.
On 3rd down, they turn to Sanders. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well. He was solid last week, over 100 yards in their victory on the ground. They want to get that going again.
Absolutely. What they also understand is that from week to week, it's not necessarily the same, but they want it to be, right? What they saw last week on the ground, they want to see in this game as well.
Three tight ends in the ball game here on 1st and 10. Now Wentz. For the reception made by Alshon Jeffrey. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. A big pickup there for the Eagles' 1st down, 18 yards. Alshon Jeffrey so dangerous even when a defender's near him.
He's got such a big body, ability to run, positions himself well, excellent control. And you're exactly right. Even if people are draped on him, he often comes up with the catch. He really symbolizes what people are looking for in receivers in today's NFL.
On 1st and 10, it's Sanders. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the 1st half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. Throwing now is Wentz. And he'll take it into the end zone for an Eagles touchdown. Deshaun Jackson, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Eagles have taken the early lead. Heck of a start to his season. He had 2 touchdowns in the opener last week, another one here in week 2.
Well, I don't want to call him a touchdown machine this early, but sometimes you get locked in, and you feel good about things. You get into that zone, and those touchdowns come in bunches. He may be off to that kind of a start.
It's like he was shot out of a cannon. I would imagine success this early, great momentum going forward for the rest of the year.
He keeps this up, they'll soon be chanting MVP anytime he touches the ball.
It's caught. And it's 8-0. And around the goal line, especially on 2-point tries, sometimes the QB's best friend is that big target, the tight end.
I love how you described it because you know he's going to have some length and some catch radius as well as a big body to keep people away from the football.
Jake Elliott to kick off for Philadelphia.
touchdown. Here's Elliott on to kick it away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. So the Rams coming back onto the field, their second drive of the game. And the last drive, their first drive, 3 and out. What changes here, if anything?
I think it's making sure the guys that you trust the most with the ball, the biggest playmakers you have, that they touch it on this possession to try and get things moving.
So get it to the horses.
Without a doubt. They're the ones that typically end up in the end zone.
And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves them with 2 to go on second down. But you often say that sort of opens the playbook now, second and short. What do you think, early shot here?
I like where you're going. Obviously, we've been together for a while because you know me. I want to take that shot early and loosen things up.
First carry now for the Memphis man, Darrell Henderson. And he'll be brought down right around the 37.
Second and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook, go play action, toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back. Let him pick up a first down. Keep the sticks moving.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. He was looking for Josh Reynolds that time. And it's second down.
A lot of times it's that first read that you have. Maybe you get it in pre-snap, and he locked in on his target, but he was covered quite well, and that one's incomplete.
Connection made here, Goff to Higbee. And he's going to be out of bounds right at midfield. A gain of 13. It's a first down.
Up into the last 5 weeks of the 2019 season, if you had said, who is Tyler Higbee, you might have got some blank stares back. But down the stretch, only Julio Jones and Michael Thomas have more targets in the final month of the 2019 season. A breakout year for Tyler Higbee. He expects to continue those types of numbers and beyond going forward. I remember covering Robert Woods in college at USC, and consistent was the word that was always used about him. Maybe we should have added dependable as well. Over 1,100 yards each of the last 2 seasons. This guy studied to be an NFL wide receiver while in college and has carried that over to the NFL. A pro's pro. This guy plays as hard as anyone in the league.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Here's Geis. And he's going to take this close to the first down marker as he stopped at the Eagles' 14. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue. A much different second drive here, Charles. They go 3 and out the first time. This time they've been able to sustain something downfield.
And that's what often happens. You get the game started. You know, you have to get your footing underneath you. You have to get used to the flow of the game, the speed of the game. And sometimes that under
pressure, and he'll go down. They'll sack him on what ought to be the final play of this first quarter. Derek Barnett in there for the sack on what will be the final play of this first quarter. One quarter down, 8-0 the score.
With the score, Eagles 8, Rams 0.
Gotta imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. Another try after the first down sack. Goff, and incomplete. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Out of the gun, Goff. 4th down now looming after Philly's defense stands tall in coverage. You and I watched film yesterday, and you told me to watch his feet. Well, for whatever reason, his footwork just looked off on that throw.
And you always love it when an ex-defensive back talks quarterback mechanics, right?
Well, but you're good at it.
Well, I try, all right? I don't know how good I am, but it doesn't take much to tell. His mechanics are off a little bit, exactly what you described. Footwork, that led to the incompletion.
Tavecchio puts this one through, and they get on the board, trailing now 8-3. Rams 3. So the field goal there caps what winds up to be an 11-play drive.
Well, partner, that's a lot of offense to run there to only get 3 points. So I just wonder, are they going to recycle those plays because they were successful in getting 3? Or do you go to another section of the playbook trying to find ones that get you into the end zone, get you 6?
Their own 26-yard line.
So here are the Eagles to take over. They got the victory last week. That was against Washington, and now they lead this ball game as well. Set to go here, 1st and 10. Throwing is Wentz. And he finds his tight end. It's Ertz. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. 10 yards there to start the drive, and just enough by about the length of the football for a 1st down.
6-yard line.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
And nowhere to fit that football in. It's knocked away and incomplete. They'll try again from the 36 on 2nd and 10. Wentz. That's taken in by the tight end Perkins. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. It's a gain of 35.
I'm pretty sure any quarterback will tell you it's nice to have a tight end that can stretch the field. And how about him right there, working in the heart of the defense, and they connect on a very nice play downfield, a combination of talent and toughness to go into the briar patch.
So now then, the big play has them all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. Wentz on the give to Sanders. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
This defense is really thrown around in the first half. They've gotten to the ball carrier before they can really get started. Offense got to come up with something else in order to try and get this running game going.
On 2nd down, it's Sanders. 5 yards on the carry there, and it leaves them with 3rd and about 6 yards to go.
But you got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball, because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
Now Wentz on 3rd down. Caught by the tight end Ertz. And he's going to have an Eagles 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. An Eagle 1st down there, Wentz to Ertz, and the names that end in TZ.
When the offense reads blitz, doesn't matter where it's coming from, tight ends know that they become a big part of the passing game because they should be an easy outlet when all those extra bodies are trying to get to the quarterback. A hot route, so to speak.
And he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. Well, I tell you what, when you get a running back who can move like that in the open field, that's something to take advantage of, and they certainly did there.
And there's an old chestnut of an expression called getting on your horse. And I hate to use it, but I'm going to right here because it absolutely applies. How about the head of steam he had behind him? And he was absolutely galloping downfield. That was something to see.
Looks like a jumbo set with 3 tight ends here for 1st and goal. They'll try to run with Sanders. And he's in for an Eagles touchdown. Miles Sanders, his 1st touchdown of the new season. And the Eagles add on to their lead.
We got a little bit of everything on that run. Offensive line creating some space, but how about the guy running behind his pads into the end zone?
What does that mean when a guy says running behind his pad?
It means that he's going to be a physical runner. That way he's able to use his shoulder pads, his forearms, anything to ward off people, to power his way forward.
On for the extra point, Jake Elliott. Our score 15-3. So that drive goes 8 plays. And it was Miles Sanders who finished it off with a touchdown run. This will make it into the end zone, and it'll come out to the 25 as he will not attempt to return. A reminder, still some good games coming up here in Week 2 of the NFL. Later tonight, a rematch from that Super Bowl a few years back. New England visits Seattle up in the Northwest. And then on Monday night, we'll be there. The first regular season NFL game ever played in the state of Nevada. The New Orleans Saints and the Las Vegas Raiders from Allegiant Stadium. That should be something. They start on the ground with Geis, and he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
And he'll get about 4 across the 30 to the 32. Now we'll get a stoppage here as it appears we've got an Eagle slow to get up. We'll check on his status when we get back. The Eagles call on the extra defensive back here as they prepare for a stop on 3rd down. A shotgun snap for Goff. And got a man. It's Woods. And he is going to have a Rams first down by a couple of yards as they're able to convert here on 3rd and 3. Subsequent gains of 3, 4, now 5 yards. Good enough for the first down.
But when you think of the Rams and their passing game, sometimes Robert Woods gets overlooked. But if I told you he led the team in targets for the last 2 years and had 139 last year, would you be surprised? Probably. But now with Brandon Cooks gone from the roster, they'll look in his direction maybe even more. And I just love the intensity that he plays the game with.
Now Goff on 1st down. He'll get this complete to Cooper Kupp. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. They picked up 5 yards last time. Now they double it and get 10 here.
Cooper Kupp had a big season in 2019. Also saw the emergence of tight end Tyler Higbee for the Rams. He really jumped up his game about the last month of the season. But when it came time to ring the bell and get into the end zone, the Rams still look towards Kupp. 10 touchdowns in 2019. Runs his routes with great precision and intelligence.
And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. Here's a throw right side taken in by his tight end. 7 yards, the pickup there.
It's a gain of 7. Brings up 2nd and 3 at the Eagles' 42-yard line.
And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. A reminder coming up at halftime, we'll head to Orlando. Standing by there, Jonathan Coachman. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL in this 2nd week of the regular season. His throw incomplete. The intended receiver, Josh Reynolds. And it's 3rd and short.
From the snap, he certainly looked like he knew where he wanted to go with the ball, but surprise, that guy was covered. So that took his attention elsewhere to no avail.
7th play of the drive now as they come up on a 3rd and 3. From the gun, here's Goff. Open man is Henderson. That's complete. And he is going to have a Rams first down. They needed 3. He doubled that. He got 6. It'll be a gain of 6 that time as it moves the chains as well.
Is that impossible? I think it would have been interesting to see what they would have done if they hadn't gotten the first down there. But since they did, I guess the point is moot.
And they're right there in that middle ground, field goal range, punt, go for it. But as you said, they picked it up. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Throwing again is Goff. Toward the left sideline, but it's incomplete.
They've given up a few first downs on this drive, but getting the incompletion there, that should give them something to build on and maybe turn the tide.
Back to the air. Goff on second down. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves them with 3rd and 9 looming. Got to get to the 26 for a first. This is 3rd down. Open man is Higbee, the tight end. And a good tackle there right around the 30. Stops him short of the first down. Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. And this one is right down Broadway. And the lead is down to 9. It's 15-6.
Rams 6.
So a dozen plays on that drive, CD, but in the end, it yields just the 3 points.
Well, they were able to keep the defense on the field for a long time, but let's be honest about it. That was about as unsatisfying a drive as you're going to get. 12 plays and you only get 3 points out of it. Not quite the ending they were looking for.
All right, time for us now to discuss Alshon Jeffrey. Second quarter here, he has only 1 catch, but they have the lead. You got to think there's going to be more involved at some point.
That's what you would expect, but sometimes what defenses do to take away a player of his magnitude, it costs them in other areas. And right now, with them losing, they may have to change their focus, and maybe he will open up a little bit more as the game goes on.
Yeah, well, so far, just the single catch.
Brings up 2nd and 9.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. Here's Wentz to throw. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains. They show run with 3 tight ends here on first down. Wentz going to throw. Jeffrey reels it in over the middle. 7 yards to pick up on the pitch and catch. 3 yards to go on second down, and they've got 3 tight ends out there. Jumbo set. And a quick throw here, that's complete. Now whistles and a timeout with 3 seconds left in the first half. Here's Jake Elliott. Career long, by the way, for him, 61 yards. This will be spotted just shy of midfield. A 59-yard attempt. That's on target, but it's no good. He had it on line, but it came up just shy of the crossbar. So we come upon halftime with 9 points separating these two teams. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, we'll get you back to you and Charles in a bit, but first it's time for a trip around the NFL following an eventful opening weekend. Let's see what's happening in Week 2. We'll begin out in the windy city of Chicago, and thus far, pretty one-sided. 17-0 to score at halftime. Golden Tate, a touchdown catch in that first half. From there, we head down to Tennessee to check on the Titans at home in Nashville. And they've got the lead in that ball game over the visiting Jaguars. Ryan Tannehill looking good. 2 touchdown passes. Finally, we'll save the biggest for last as we head to AT&T Stadium to see what's happening with the Cowboys at home in Arlington. And they've got the lead in that one over the visiting Atlanta Falcons. Ezekiel Elliott has run for a touchdown there. In our game, it's been Carson Wentz with a strong first half. His guys have the lead as we'll hand it back over to our commentators, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3.
Jake Elliott to kick off for Philadelphia.
The Rams set to receive the second half kickoff, and they trail here as we resume play. This will make it into the end zone, and we will not see a return to start the half as this will be a touchback. L.A. readies for its next possession. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now, the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game. They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves them with 3rd and 9 looming. And that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's 4th down.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
A pretty good punt, but a nice 13-yard return. And the Eagles will have it, taking over 1st and 10. So here are the Eagles now as they get set for their first possession of the second half. They were able to get the ball back here, didn't surrender any points. Now they'll look to add to that lead.
And how about the boost the defense gave them? Going right out on the field, shutting them down, not giving up any points, and turning the ball back over. They want to do their part now and show them a little respect and some gratitude by scoring some points.
And to get a little more cushion. A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick 1st down. Now to throw. Throwing into traffic there, and that's complete. And this will be good for a pickup of 9 to the 46.
Nothing fancy on 1st down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for 2nd down, staying ahead of schedule. And he'll be brought down, it looks like, right at the 40.
They were not fooling around at all, were they? 2nd and short, and they brought out that heavy package. Almost felt like the super heavy package against that defense, didn't it?
Yeah, I don't think they expected that much beef up front, and it turned into an easy 1st down conversion. 1st and 10, and they've got 3 tight ends out there. A jumbo package look. They'll run. It's Sanders. And little room to maneuver there. He gets it down to about the 39. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Brings up 2nd and 9.
Here's Sanders. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard, so it's back to 3rd and 10.
Well, they sent the power set out there, and their job is to be man-on-man and move people so they can run the football. But that time, too many men didn't get moved in the box defensively. They end up throwing him for a loss.
And he's unable to haul it in, so it falls incomplete over the middle 3rd of the field, and that brings up 4th.
That was a classic example of trying to run with the ball without securing the catch. He was thinking about those rack yards instead of making the catch first and then taking off.
A 56-yard attempt.
And his kick is good. He got every bit of that one as it's good from 56 yards out. So he missed that field goal earlier, but he says not this time. Able to knock it through, give his guys 3.
I like his poise. I like his confidence, his belief in himself. Sometimes when you miss that first one, you see a lot of guys sag and they can't make the next one. Not in this case. Stepped right up like a pro.
And he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25. L.A. set to take over again on offense. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
As his old brain remembers, when I see 5 wide receivers on the field as a defender, I know the ball's coming out high. They expected it and got there and popped it free.
And now a throw here secured by his running back out of the backfield. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4. From the gun on 3rd down, Goff. This pass complete to Reynolds. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
And that's incomplete.
Cross pass. Thrown to the sideline and incomplete. It's 3rd down and 7 yards to go.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Goff. That's into the hands of Reynolds. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or 2 shy of the 40. The Rams, they are on the move. They've got another 1st down.
That was a fun one to watch right there. Nice in-breaking route and plenty of room in the middle of the field. He was able to get behind the linebackers and grab the completion for a really good pickup.
So from Philadelphia territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 41. Here's Goff. And that is incomplete.
Not sure what you're thinking here, partner, but I believe the officials have done a nice job here getting together and then coming out and indicating that there was a receiver in the area.
Absolutely, and he was in the area. Correct call made, no grounding. He's going to air one out, and that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there, trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down. And here comes the 8th play of the drive, and they need a full 10 yards on 3rd down. Goff throwing again. Going up top for Kupp. It's caught at the 10. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
They're still looking for their first touchdown of the game, and for a second, I thought they had it right there.
Looking on the sideline, it's finally good to see nods of approval. It's a welcome sign of life that this offense needed. Gets this into the hands of the tight end, Higbee. And from the 9, they get this to the 5-yard line. They'll contain him to just 4, 2nd down.
I think it's okay there. They didn't get a whole lot on that play, but it's nice to have a safety valve that's built like this guy. Big target, guy you can spot pretty easily. Put it on him when your other targets aren't open.
And not a whole lot there. He does get a couple, taking it from the 5 down to the 3.
Charles, for this offense, we take a look at the draft class here. They were looking for a playmaker, and they found one on the outside.
And the way teams are throwing the football nowadays, you can't afford to skip to the wide receiver position. I know that the slot guy is getting more attention now, but that guy in the perimeter, he makes you go.
And not going to be able to push this forward. He runs into a wall right at the line of scrimmage.
Brings up 4th and goal at the 3-yard line.
Is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. This is the National Football League on EA Sports.
6. Sergio Tavecchio on for the field goal. A 20-yard attempt.
The kick by Tavecchio is good, and that lead is back down to 9 now.
Rams 9.
So they get 3, certainly hoping for 6 after a 13-play drive.
So you console yourself on defense by saying you did your job, right? If they go 13 plays, you only give up a field goal, you did a nice job there. But here's the other part. 13 plays, you don't force any mistakes, you don't take the ball away. Maybe that's the way they should look at it.
26-yard line.
Philadelphia's offense ready to give us another look. Well, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this fourth quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
A good push there from that offensive line as Sanders able to take that forward for a gain of about 6 on first down. The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely, you want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
On third down, they'll run it with Sanders. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. A gain of 4 that time as the drive continues.
Brandon, when a defense just simply can't get off the field on third down, and we all know how important that down is for both sides of the ball, you often feel like you're just a step behind whatever they're doing offensively.
And one of the differences in this game, no doubt, third down conversion, and that is going to be a story they'll talk about after this. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Dallas Goedert, 62 yards. And the Eagles able to push further out in front. That's pretty impressive, Charles. It's one thing to be an elite speed wide receiver and have all that yards after the catch into the end zone, but from your tight end?
Yeah, you don't get that very often. What you're describing is more like a Tyreek Hill, a Devontae Adams, and Antonio Brown. You're not talking about a guy that lines up or can line up in line.
And down he goes. Pressure gets him back at the 14.
Well, they tried to get 2 and ended up getting none, because the quarterback had nowhere to go with the ball and ends up getting sacked.
Nowhere to go at all. Great job, though, defensively. They were ready. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Rams offense now, they get set and head back onto the field. Their drive last time, it stalled out. They were forced to take the short field goal.
And the key phrase, you nailed it. Forced to, because you know coaches look at these short field goals as a last resort, right? To them, that's not how drives are supposed to end. You're supposed to put 6 on the board. That's a consolation prize. Like going to the county fair, you don't get the big stuffed animal on that one, do you?
No, you don't go top shelf. That's bottom shelf material. On first down, it's gone. Open man, Higbee, the tight end. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. Nice way to start the drive. A gain of 12 and a first down. Out of the gun. Gone. They'll find Henderson there. It's complete. And he's got this to the 30 before being taken down. 33 yards that time.
A lot of running backs in the passing game, they're just used to check it down to them or maybe dump off passes. But this guy, they use him to stretch the field, don't they?
He stretched it right there, turned it into a really nice game. So the big play has him all the way down to the 30 now for 1st and 10. Here's Goff. They got a man over the middle. It's Woods. And this will leave them a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes when they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air. And sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. 4 yards the pickup, first down. Now, yes, a 2-possession game, but a good chunk of time on the clock, so they have the ability still there to run it on second and short, but maybe they need to pick it up a bit.
You're right. They did pick up the first down there, but they, as you mentioned, they have to pick up the pace now because it's a 2-possession game. They've got to get there twice to make sure they have a chance to win.
And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. A solid pickup of 12 yards, and now they're knocking on the door.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there. I'm going to tackle this guy. By the fourth quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down fourth quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently.
Well, he did get a taste the previous week. He got into the end zone, trying his best to get there in this game. So far, he's been denied.
3 red zone trips have yielded just 2 field goals for them to this point, so they'll be searching for something more on second and goal. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Rams. A great effort there. His second touchdown on the season. And the Rams are able to draw a bit closer, as this gets them back within a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. So the drive winds up going 75 yards in 7 plays. And it's culminated by a 2-yard touchdown run. So the lead trimmed down to 8 as here comes the kickoff, and it's away. Taken in at the 3. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. Here's the Philadelphia offensive unit now as they head out to take over possession. After the touchdown we just saw, we have a brand new ball game. And now look at the situation. You got plenty of time on the clock. Defensively, they have 3 timeouts. So do you run the football here or do you throw it?
I think you have a full conversation with your offensive unit, and you tell them, here's the situation. They've got all of their timeouts, so we are not going to play this conservatively. We've got to attack them. We've got to make them use those, gain the ground that we need in order to put this game away. If you think we're just going to run it 3 times and punt it, you got another thing coming.
Yeah, and by the way, also the 2-minute warning in play, so essentially 4 timeouts left.
They have to be aggressive here.
Oh, incomplete. A turnover would have really helped there, almost intercepted. Instead, it's just second down.
It's now 2nd and 10 at the 30-yard line.
They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And the Rams defense gets to him again behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
3rd down and 11.
They'll go again with Sanders. And he will not make it to that imaginary yellow line as they get him to the ground at about the 23. 7 yards on the carry there, but now they're staring at 4th down. So it's Eagle football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. The kick by Elliott is good. And that will extend their lead even further. So his second field goal of the game, and that could turn out to be the big one.
Yeah, you have to make them score twice to beat you, and that's not impossible. But here in the 4th quarter, puts their backs clearly against the wall.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. So Goff and the Rams down by 11, just under 2 minutes to go. How will this thing pan out? We'll watch as they come up on 1st down.
first down. That's taken in, complete to Reynolds. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there. 3 yards the gain there, second down. And right now, defensively, you love that, don't you? I mean, you'll give them that play.
And they'll take it every single time.
And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Rams. Cooper Kupp, 72 yards. And the Rams have got this back to a one-score game. So certainly some importance to this one now. After the touchdown, they could get this down to a field goal with a 2-point conversion. Now Goff. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. And now following that sack, looks like we've got an injured man down there on the field. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. And the Eagles hands team able to cover it up. A tough one there. They certainly wanted that when they needed it, but they didn't absolutely have to get it. They still do have 3 timeouts.
You're exactly right. They had to attempt it. But even though they didn't get it, as you noted, with 3 timeouts, if they can get these stops on defense, all hope is not lost.
On first down, Sanders. And some good tackling there as he stopped up at about the 41. So 2nd and 9, and you'd have to figure just about all 11 probably crashing the line here. Now Wentz. Caught by the tight end Ertz. Now the Rams will signal for a timeout, their second, and they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. Oh, look at this. Wentz going to throw. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. John Johnson with the INT. And they will take over at the 29-yard line. Set to begin their next drive, the Rams offense at the line. They're down here in a one-score game. But the time, it's a factor, but it's not a huge factor right now, is it?
It's really not, because this amount of time gives them a chance to run their offense, to go through play sequences. And this is what they work on every week in practice, usually on a Friday. They go over this type of a situation, late game situation. What are we going to do when we have the opportunity? They've called these plays a bunch of times. Now's their chance to execute them.
Yeah, they have the opportunity now. Here's the execution. Well, when you're leading in the fourth quarter, that's not the penalty you want.
Not at all, and now your discipline comes into question. Having poise this stage of the game, you can't have those kind of plays.
And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. Sacked by Brandon Graham. He's been doing that since he entered the league in 2010. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
Goff. And the throw there going to be incomplete. What a great sequence by this defense so far. They've given him nowhere to go with the football.
And they just have to make it stand up one more time, because it appears that they've got their number. Can they not have a slip up here and allow the touchdown?
He's going to let it fly. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. So they decline the penalty. That seems a little odd.
I'm trying to work through it and work with them to figure out why.
Well, someone's got to be confused.
That's what I think. I'm pretty sure that the bench is saying take the penalty, and somehow in the heat of the moment, they thought they were saying
This is caught inside the 15. And he takes it down deep into enemy territory. The Rams going to be forced to use their third and final timeout, as they'll stop him with 13 seconds left to play. Now Wentz on the bootleg. And this is caught. And that could seal it. It's a touchdown.
you get down near the goal line. This is where having a sure-handed tight end becomes a luxury, and it pays off big time, especially when the defense sells out against the run. He finds himself open for an easy touchdown.
Going to lead the Eagles up to go for 2. Throwing is Wentz. And this one incomplete. So they went for the 2. They don't get it. And unable to connect. It's incomplete. And the clock stopped at 8 seconds. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Set to begin their next drive, the Rams offense at the line. Well, this is just an exercise in futility. Do you even bother running a play here offensively?
I wouldn't, because now is not going to erase what's happened during the game. So after it's over, you're going to go to the field.
And that's caught inside the 30. And a little bit of a consolation prize there. He's into the end zone. Won't win them the game, but they do get the score with all zeros showing.
But some fantasy players are really happy with that score.
Doesn't affect the outcome, but, hey, nice job there to put it in the end zone for the final play.
Could it affect other things? Sometimes these types of scores are ones that we don't consider big at the time. Then later on we find out maybe that was a tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Or, of course, in the fantasy football world, these points mean a lot.
A lot there. Well, an interesting finish to this one. They get in the end zone at the end of the game. Then they went for 2. It wouldn't have mattered. The game was over, but they didn't get that 2-point conversion.
I think trying to get the 2 points, that was for pride for them. But obviously the guys on the other side of the ball had some pride too. They stopped the 2-point play, even though, as you noted, it did not matter. So both teams battled to the end.
So for Philadelphia, it's a win here in their home opener as they move to 2-0. And they'll have another home date next week as the Cincinnati Bengals come to town. Meanwhile, for the Rams, they'll drop to 0-2. And they'll try to get back on track next week as they head up to Orchard Park to take on the Buffalo Bills.